this always happens where we just start talking and then it's like 10 minutes. You're like, shit, we should have hit record
and then we get all
earlier.
the content. Yeah.
We've just
talked about. We've hit all our points, and then we're like, crap. We should have recorded that. It was gold.
Yeah.
Did you get my messages?
I did not get your messages yet. They've not come through.
So this is just for all the people that asked me questions. I'm giving them to Mon now. Do people call you Mon? Can I call you Mon?
You can call me whatever you want. People do call me Mon. Hey, our internet is a little bit interesting tonight, but that's probably because we're both in little hick-ass towns. So we'll just roll with it.
Great town in Melbourne. I feel you, girl. We're in this together now. Yeah. Well, we have a liquor store. I'm prepared for you.
Yeah. See, we've covered the important topics. We know where the liquor stores are in all the towns. I'll let you know.
I might have wanted to start a recording earlier. Damn it.
Oh, hey, that's all good. That's all good. Okay, cool. I'll pull out these messages later on, and we can
Okay, we can go through them.
We can roast you.
We can clearly all tell I'm not good under pressure, but no, actually I am. Let me be more articulate. Okay.
Well, this must be pretty terrifying for you right now. I know.
Yeah, you and your wine that you hate and me.
I know.
My wine that I love.
We've got wine, we've got no pants, we're all good. We're winning at life.
I know. We just live, living the best life. What a world we live in, eh? What a time to be alive.
I reckon. And I feel like we should start this podcast by making a boomerang, which I've never done before. But I feel like
you've done a boomerang?
Yeah. If you've got wine, surely if you've got a drink, you need a boomerang, right? Are you ready for this? Are you ready? All right.
I do this all the time.
Go.
Okay, cheers.
That's so funny.
Where are you putting it? You have to put it up to the camera thing.
No, I got it. Hang on, I can do it again. This is so exciting for everyone listening. But I am having the time of my life, and that's what counts. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
Glad.
Ready? Cheers. Go. Cheers. I love that. Okay, cool.
Well?
It's awesome. I will send it to you later. Okay, let's be serious professionals now. Are you ready?
I'm so ready. Wow. I got that tingle of the seriousness.
First things first, thank you so much for taking time out for this.
You're very welcome. I'm totally happy to be here. I liked, when you first got in touch, I liked the message that you were putting out on your podcast. So I was super keen to be a part of that kind of stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, and I know that you don't do a lot of interviews and stuff, so that's even cooler for me.
Yeah, welcome.
Not that this is really an interview, but
I thought a while back that kind of stuff, everyone has their sort of own agenda, and I thought if I ever wanted to get my point across, talk about anything, then I could just use my own platforms and do it like that. And not that the media haven't been so supportive, because they really have. A part of it was just me trying to move past the Bachelorette bubble, I guess.
Yeah.
Venture on my own.
Yeah. When did it all finish for you?
It's finished filming in December last year, and then the reunion was in like the 10th of March.
Oh, true.
10th, yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a while.
Yeah, so it's been a while, and I've just been living my life for so long now that it's and it obviously wasn't. Well, it was just a whole big drama. It's a show, obviously, but yeah, it's just kind of being like dragged back into the bubble again. So
yeah,
but, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, into the bubble. Look at you go. That's
the bubble. I know. It was such. Let me tell you, girl, it was such a bubble. People don't realize, but it was kind of, when I was in it, at some stage, I'm so sorry, my fireplace is just, the heart is so needy. It takes a lot of, I might need to go and put just some more on it. But anyways, no, it's so funny because you really are in this bubble when you're in it. It's all you talk about, and the boys aren't allowed their phones, and they're not, the producers talk to them about you for hours on end, and so it just becomes this thing. It's just all encompassing. It's actually crazy. It's like a big experiment, really.
Yeah. It's crazy because I guess you have no idea when you watch, you know, because it is so like it's a 1 hour show. It's like how much footage actually goes into that. You know, how much footage is
Mm.
created, and then how much do you actually see?
I mean, I don't, watching it back, I don't see any of the stuff that goes on with the guys, right? So, so watching all the drama, I mean, you hear about it and you're meant to talk about it as some of your drama points on your dates, but you don't actually know what goes on. You only are hearing it from the guys that tell you. It was a very biased, I guess, side of the story. But when you're watching it back, you're kind of like, wow, I did not know that it went down like that, or I did not know that they acted like that, or whatever. It's just so interesting to watch.
Yeah.
So interesting. And to hear what they say to you, because you've never heard that behind closed doors, you know.
And what's it like watching yourself on TV?
I definitely, it's pretty confronting. Yeah, it's pretty confronting, to be honest. It's you know, your own worst, everyone's their own worst critic. So I'm definitely watching it and thinking, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or oh, I can't believe I do that, or my hair looks like this, or the way I articulate that. You know, you're just so, and especially me, just especially my type of personality, I'm so self-critical. But also, it's weird watching it because it's very heavily edited as well. So there's sentences that I didn't even say in a row that they'd kind of spliced together, and I'd be like, that was not, I wasn't even talking about that person, or that wasn't even the situation I was talking about. That happened a fair few times when I was watching it, and I was like, I was actually talking about this other situation that we had together, but they've used that phrase that I said in regards to that situation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's such a show. I didn't realize, but hey, whatever. Then, you know, great show. Lots of people liked it, so I guess it did its job.
Yeah. And I kind of like, I want to bounce because I know obviously you were on the show, but that's not really our focus. So, but like what we were just saying in our excellent conversation before we started recording.
I know. Always the way.
I know, but just drawing some parallels between, I know you don't watch Married at First Sight, but I do. I'm the reality TV show queen, obviously. No, these are actually my two shows.
But I've seen snippets on Instagram, so I kind of know what you're talking about. But tell me again with the girls.
Yeah, well, we were just talking about how it's been really interesting watching TV, and like, because I mean, I remember watching things like The Bachelor when I was a kid, and you know, you're like, oh, Prince Charming, and we're kind of raised, right, to think about this fairy tale ending, and you need to find your match to be complete, and all this kind of stuff. And it's been really interesting that all of a sudden there was you, and then there was this lady Michelle and this lady Connie, who were on Married at First Sight, who were both like, you know what, this doesn't feel good to me. I'm complete on my own. I'm awesome on my own. I'm confident, I know what I want, and then just walked away. And I'm just like, yes, like fist bumps at home from my couch, you know, and how awesome that is now that there are women in the public eye giving this sort of example for people, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that is freaking awesome, isn't it? I mean, I've got so much to say about that, actually. Gosh, oh my gosh, I'm going to harp on. But it's funny because us as women, now we're feeling more empowered to do that kind of thing. And you're right, traditionally it may not have been acceptable that may not have been an option. And so I'm so stoked to hear that there's women out there who are courageous enough to say, you know what, I just choose myself. On the flip side to that though, it's not like we haven't been doing this for years, but still doing it, you feel like you feel like, what's the word I'm looking for? You're breaking new barriers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it shouldn't have to be that. I feel like definitely making my choice, I knew I was going to face a lot of backlash and I knew it was kind of groundbreaking stuff and no one has done it before and there's never been a Bachelorette that's not true, that it's not picked anyone. But that's kind of at the same time as empowered as I felt doing it, it's kind of sad that I was the first one. and I'm so proud to be a pioneer for something like that, but it's sad that I have to be. Why are we only coming around to terms with it now? Do you know what I mean? Why is society only letting us feel like we can do it now? And I still face a lot of backlash, and lots of people were disappointed and they felt like it was a waste of their time. It's never a waste of your time to be able to stand up and choose just yourself if that's what feels right for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I love that so much. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, people can judge, but they don't actually know what happened. And at the end of the day, like, why should you do something that doesn't feel right for you just because someone else expects it?
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? Not only for me, but how awful is it that I know that it's not right for me and I get into a relationship. How awful is it for the other person too? Me having to fake it. I mean, I'm sure for the guys, they would be much happier knowing that I chose not to be with them if I knew it wasn't right, and having to kind of be in a fake relationship. Like, they wouldn't want that either,
Totally.
And for those but I get it. People were just disappointed and that's what I mean by it's unfortunate that we have to battle against this, but the show was made to pick a Prince Charming or to pick your person. The show was never set up for you to just pick yourself. That's not what it's about, and I guess it's not why people watched it. But that's sad in a way. It should always be, and this is just a note to the bachelors or bachelorettes of the future, it should always be, the choice should be at the end, maybe someone, maybe no one, if it's not right. Because you're put with, there were 10 guys for me, 10 guys for Lily. Like, it may be, as is life, that no one's there for me, and that's okay, and I should have, that's okay. So
yeah, totally.
Yeah,
totally. Okay, I have so many questions coming to my head now. First things first, which one should I ask first? I'm curious to know what are your sort of practices for your own like self-love and self-worth, because I feel like not many people would be strong enough to do what you have done.
I'm so lucky, and you've probably seen them on the TV, obviously. Yeah. But I am so lucky that I have such a supportive network. I've got a really supportive family, and I've got really supportive friends, and I've got a strong ass mum who brought me up just the same. Yeah. So I knew I was going to face some wider public backlash, but to be honest, I had such a close, tight-knit support network around me, and so a lot of my self-care revolved around just talking it through with them, saying how I felt to them, getting reassurance from them, getting advice from them, and so I was able to just talk it out. Never talk about it with producers and things like that, because they obviously have their own agenda. So it's definitely good to have just people who really have your back, who are on your side, communicating how you're feeling. So I think just having a good support network is part of your self-care.
Yeah.
People you can talk to.
Totally. So what was the backlash like for you when it all came out on, especially social media? What was that like for you?
I started getting the backlash a little bit earlier than just the end. I guess when people like Kumra Michael walked out and stuff like that, because he's such an awesome guy, and people were obviously, real big fans of his, and people they feel so hard done by when guys like that leave. And so I just stopped watching it all. I kind of blocked everything Bachelorette, and I just started living my life, and everything that I was told was by people that loved me, and they were kind of drip feeding me little things like, hey, this is out there about you. And obviously it hurts, I'm not a robot. So it definitely, there were a few tears along the way, and me just venting how I feel. But like I said, that support network really kicked in, and everyone was telling me that, those that matter don't care, and those that care really don't matter. And that's so true, and to be honest, there was backlash, which is what I was expecting, but I wasn't, I don't know, nothing can prepare you for it really. I was expecting way worse towards the end because I could see where it was going, and I was like, oh, everyone's just going to hate me and be like, can't believe she didn't pick anyone. But there was just this whole bunch of people who were really, really supportive and encouraging, just people that had been watching it, just people like you, people, so many people are messaging who aren't as vocal as that, you know, those nasty few who kind of feel like they have to say their part, who are just nice, normal people who just understood. Even if they didn't, even if they had their secret favorites, you know, they were really understanding of that I'm a human being, I get to make my own choices, I'm the one in a relationship, not anybody else. And they were so supportive. And so I just they blocked out, not really me, they blocked out all the noise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's so good.
They helped me. Yeah, they helped me face all that backlash, really, just knowing that there was so many silent supporters who were just normal people who would never write, you know, things on social media, who just came to me personally and privately and were just so supportive. So yeah, it was nice.
Yes. That's the thing with keyboard warriors, right? They are loud.
Oh my gosh. Because do you know what? My mum sent me this article actually about trolling. Because, you know, she's just kind of, my mum's, you know, a researcher, and she's so academic, and she sent me this long article, and it was talking about trolls and how, and the three key things that make them do what they do. It's like one, oh my gosh, how do you say this word? Anonymity.
Smashed it. We got there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's that sense of being anonymous, and it's a sense of also this broken glass, broken window phenomena. Have you heard of that?
No.
Broken phenomena. So it's like people who frick, I've lost it. Hang on, it's on my phone. A broken glass or something. Hang on. I got this. Can we edit this out?
No, we're keeping it real. This is some real life stuff right here.
It's going to be an hour of me just looking through my phone about this broken glass thing. But it's the idea is that people like tend to chip it, like people that see a broken window, chip away at it, and other people just come out of interest and kind of start chipping as well, not because they particularly are invested, but if they see something, it's kind of that thing where they just want to have a go and just add their 2 cents as well. Not that they feel strongly about it, but they see other people doing it, and then and that sense of being anonymous. So those 2 things kind of you know, and it's just like hurt people. I don't know. So it didn't, the kind of trolling. Oh, the other thing I noticed, it's the same, say 10 people. I mean, it's more than that, but it's the same 10 people who comment on everything. So it'll be, they dislike me intensely, and then they'll be like, she's this, she's that, she's that. And then they'll keep writing it. So it looks like lots of people have said stuff, but it's the same person just saying 100 comments on every platform, on Facebook, on Instagram, on whatever, Twitter. And they just, you know, and it's the same like Sharon, Karen, and Darren from whatever, 22. And just, you know, they just you know, they just keep going, and just like stop, or just go, I don't know, do something different.
It's really interesting, like understanding why people do that sort of thing as well. But I love that thing about hurt people hurt, because that's the thing. It's like it takes the sting out of it straight away. I mean, to a point. Because I remember, do you know that that comedian Sarah Silverman? Have you heard of her? No. I'll send a link to her later. She's hilarious. But there was this thing that went viral like a few years ago on Twitter. And she was on Twitter, and someone just attacked her, like ripped her to shreds, like super vicious.
What?
Oh, I can't even remember. It was just some like hateful thing. And her response was legendary. I mean, she's a comedian, and she's pretty, you know, politically incorrect. So it's like she could have just ripped this guy to shreds, but she didn't. She said, she commented and she said, man, Like there must be something awful going on in your life that you're like this to a stranger. And this guy ended up opening up to her, and he came back and he was like, yeah, actually I'm in like chronic pain, like I broke my back, or it was something to do with his back. And in the end she got him help. She got like doctors for free to help him, and like resolved this whole thing. And I love that so much, that from that understanding that hurt people hurt, like someone who feels good, like they don't sit and attack people on the internet.
No, yeah. and oh my gosh, it's so true. That's why I never take anything to heart. And luckily, like I said, always come back to that support system. I've been taught really well that hurt people. Like no one I know, not a single person I know would say anything mean about someone else on a social, on a public level like that.
Yeah.
No kind of just well-adjusted, I'm not trying to be critical of trolls, but you know, no sort of no just normal person wants to hurt someone else so badly like that. And so it honestly it does it. I sit there and I think about who are the type of people that would actually say something like that, or write something like that, or have that kind of, have that opinion. You know, lots of people are definitely entitled to your own opinion, but to try and put someone else down like that, I just don't know who does that. And it just must be someone who's really hurting somewhere, really isolated somewhere. There's so many reasons, but just obviously not a happy person in some way. Because do you know any happy person that would do, that would do something like that? No,
no, definitely not.
Yeah, so interesting, the whole trolling thing. But no, I really don't. I mean, if enough people do it, it pricks you a little, and you're like, oh, if enough people are poking away at you. But I really don't take that into account, because there's so many more people who are just so nice. Honestly, they were the ones that made me cry more than people that say bad things. People that say nice things. You know, when people are like, are you okay? And you're like, I'm fine. And they're like, are you okay? And you're like, I'm fine. you just start crying, or because just it's people that show empathy, or people that have your back. Even people that don't know me have my back, and it's nice.
I guess that's the thing, because they mean it. That's the thing. For you to reach out with kindness like that, you don't do that for no reason. So it's like,
oh my God,
feel the connection.
100%. And I've had so many people being like, I would never usually reach out to someone, a celebrity or whatever. I would never usually do that, or I'd hardly ever post on Instagram, or I don't even know how to work this thing, but I just wanted to let you know, blah, 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 like we support you or whatever. Yeah. It's just those people who have taken the time out of their day to just show, just because they probably knew what it was like, how hostile it was out there, and just wanted to say their part. I was so grateful. It's just nice. We've got a cool community in New Zealand. We really do. I'm not worried about the 5 people that say nasty things.
Yeah. 5 times on the same post.
5 times on every platform. Like, oh my gosh, man. Have a glass of wine with Mon and I.
Yeah.
Chill out. Not Mon's wine, because it's gross. How's it going, by the way? I saw you take a sip before another.
Yeah, I am getting through it. I'm still not convinced that it's safe. I guess we'll find out. But it's okay.
We'll see tomorrow.
Yeah, you'll get an angry text from me tomorrow.
I know, my bowel's not working, bitch. Do you know what? On that note, though, people saying nice things, it's kind of like a domino effect, I would say.
Yeah. In
that I was thinking, wow, it's so cool you would do that for someone. It makes me want to do that for someone else. So if I see something that I like, or that I support, or if someone's getting bullied that I don't agree with, it makes me want to reach out more.
Yeah.
And say, hey, I think what you're doing is real cool. Don't worry about it. And hopefully then they do, and it's a domino effect. So all the people that have done it to me inspires me to do it to other people, and just share that supportiveness, I guess.
Totally, yeah. And this is where I love social media. The fact that you can feel so connected to someone you don't even know, but it's like people can be so open. Like the fact that, for example, I could
good and a bad thing.
Yeah, there are definitely good things and definitely bad things. But I think when social media is used well, it's like you can just be an open book and you've got this amazing ability to truly connect. I mean, look at, lockdown right now. People are more connected than ever.
I know. Oh my gosh. My brother called me the other morning. My brother, who never answers the phone ever. I was here and I was like, hello. And he goes, hey, what are you doing? I just want to talk. Oh my gosh. It's such a surprise. If you know my brother, it's such a surprise to get him on the phone. I was thinking, are you okay? Hey, something happening to you? Did you contract corona? What's going on? But no, it's nice. It's nice, a sense of community, It's nice, to be more interactive. Do you know what I wonder? What would have happened 20, 30 years ago without the internet? Was the internet around 20, 30 years ago?
No, I had dial-up when I was a kid. So no. Oh, I don't think that. Hang on, 5. Maybe it was just like, but it was old school. Like no one can Zoom on dial-up. That's just
no. It's not a thing. Hey, it's not feasible. The connection is so poor. It would be freezing every second. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would have people done if this kind of thing had hit 30 years ago? They would have all been home writing letters. I don't know. What do you do? Sending pigeons?
But then at the same time, I also think it wouldn't have been such a shock because there was way more community to begin with. It would have been like a little holiday. Like, oh yeah, we'll just spend time with the family. But I think now, like, we don't even know who our neighbors are. We all put up these big fences and like, get out, this is my section. I was on a call a couple of nights ago. I was on a call and it was so funny. It was such a good point. Someone was like, a friend of mine, she said, my friend video called me without asking if it was okay first. And she was like, who even does that? And it was so funny because like, that's so true though, right? Like you have to text someone out to see if it's okay to call. Let alone, you can't just rock up to your neighbor's house and knock on the door and be like, hey, do you want to have a cup of tea? It's like, it doesn't work that way. We're so separate.
You reckon it was more like that before? Yeah. Back in the day, they would have just been more but then in saying that, but back in the day, you're not in contact with people so regularly. So going over to your neighbors happened, I don't know, whatever, once a week or something, or like seeing your friends happened. Because do you remember when you wanted to see your friends, you'd call them and you'd go, hey, what are you doing next Saturday at 12 p.m? Do you want to meet at the mall?
Yeah.
And then you'd wait till next Saturday. Whereas now there's not a day that goes by where you wouldn't text your friend about something or share something. So it's kind of like you're in constant contact.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
So it's a weird irony in where we're more in contact, but then we're in less maybe quality contact.
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe
that's it. I like that because that's the thing. I think with things like, the story and Snapchat and stuff, we can send stupid stuff to each other constantly, but it's not the same as actually sitting and putting your phones away and looking at each other and being present. It's like, it's so different. Like one of my best friends, he, whenever you go out to dinner with him or whatever, he turns his phone off and puts it away and it will not come out at all.
That's so nice.
He's the one that calls me though, and I always give him a hard time because it's like he didn't text first to ask if he could call.
Too much, bro. Too much.
Yeah. He's so old stuff. Like if you text back, he'll ring you, and you're like, oh. But it's nice,
Yeah.
It's nice.
I get that too. I get that where someone rings and I'm like, oh, I don't want to answer because it feels too personal. It's so weird, eh?
It's crazy.
Tell me when you're going to call. I need preparation. It's so weird, but it's nice of your friend to put his phone down during dinners and stuff like that. I think I need to be more mindful to do that because there are definitely times where I go through where I'm pretty busy on my phone, and then there's times where I am aware that I need to put it down. But that's a really good, we should have off screen time, off phone time, you know?
Yep. We definitely need to unlearn some of this stuff, some of this reliance that we have.
I know. But legit, what would people be doing if they didn't have social media right now? Wouldn't be doing TikTok and making banana bread.
Yeah, that is true. Everyone suddenly is on TikTok and is a baker, apparently.
I've seen so many yum cakes, honestly. And my mum goes to me, listen, you could use this time to learn how to cook. I was like, okay, maybe. But then I just slept for 3 days.
Like, Mum, I'm already a doctor. I have crushed life. Like, I don't need to learn how to cook yet.
What more do you want from me, Mum?
Yeah.
She should say grandkids. Should say 15 grandkids from just me.
Yeah, that's true. Never ask your mum what she wants from you. Never. Hey, shall we crack into some of these questions? There are so many here. I need to devise some sort of system.
Oh yeah, sorry. So thank you though, and thank you on behalf of the people that all messaged. There was more than that. I just didn't want to overwhelm you.
Man, I reckon that's so cool. I might just like look at
just whatever ones you find interesting, and then I can get back to people on my own as well.
This is a good one. What makes you happy?
Oh, that is such a good one. So I remember a time in my life where I was so happy. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, nothing could beat right now. I'm just so happy in life. I was 7th form and I was volunteering at Trade Aid. Do you know what Trade Aid is?
Yeah.
In New Zealand? Trade Aid store.
Yeah.
Same. I've worked there for 6 years volunteering. So I was volunteering there and I had a best friend, Rachel, and we were best friends in high school. And I had my bud, I had my family who I love. I was working this volunteer job and I was just happy in life. I had this little boyfriend who I was seeing. But it wasn't about the boyfriend, it was that I had such good friends and I felt fulfilled in that I was doing this volunteer work. And I just loved my life at that second. And I think I always look back at that and think, what were aspects of that made my life really happy at that time? And I think it's one that I had just such good relationships. So I had my best friend and my family, and I was like full with in that aspect. And also I was doing something for someone else with that volunteer job that I loved. And so that was fulfilling as well. And I just think, so then I try and keep that up in my life. Those couple of things, because I know that they're tried and true, make me, they're things that make me happy.
Yeah.
Having good relationships, really actual good relationships, not fake, like Insta friends or whatever. But really true. I mean, I don't have any. I follow everyone I follow. I know personally. But just true relationships and doing stuff for others, I think.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense then why you're a doctor. Good choice.
No. It's my mom, because she was like, no, actually she didn't say be a doctor at all. That's very true. Honestly, it's so cheesy, but when you talk to people about why they want it, the majority of people, but why they want to be doctors, they come up with this cheesy answer, and it's like, I want to help people, but it actually, there's just no way else to say it. You don't do it for the money, because it's just, you work way more than you would ever like be paid for, and you don't do it for the title, because people I don't know, in this day and age it's not really a thing, but you just do it because you want to help people. So
yeah, that's so cool. And I love that too, because service is the way to feel good. Like, it truly is. Yeah, I started out my career in mental health, and I used to support people who lived in the community, and that was my number one thing for them, was to get people feeling well and good, is to get them serving other people. It gives you a purpose. So you get people volunteering and doing stuff like that, and all of a sudden it's like, when you realize it's not about you, it gives you this whole mission It's very satisfying. Yeah.
It's very fulfilling, isn't it? It gives you kind of a purpose in life.
Totally.
That is so cool when you did that. I love that. That's awesome. Good on you.
I'm so glad that I'm reading these questions for you, because some of them are just amazing. Why don't you listen to this?
Oh God.
I saw you answered one of these in your stories already. Why don't you post any more booty pics though?
Oh I wasn't joking at first. I'm like, is this a real question? Does someone actually want to know this, or are you joking? And then there was like 10 of them. I don't know. I've got a big butt. I'm Samoan and I'm Caribbean, so it's there. What can I do?
Yeah.
I got it from my
Thanks, Mum.
Yeah.
So some of these are interesting. Some of these people needed to watch the show more, because even I can answer some of these questions for you.
Oh, can you, is this cut out? I think something happened to our reception for a second.
Yeah, our internet is dodgy.
Can you pick a question and then you answer it?
Are you vegan? Well, hang on. They obviously didn't watch the episode where the boys were fighting for chicken for you because you don't eat red meat. So, amateur.
Oh my gosh, girl, you watched it.
Hashtag stalker, right? That's just on the spot. I am committed.
You really commit. That is so funny. I have people coming up to me on the street with their dogs, and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, hi!" And I'm like, "Hi," and they'll be like, "Don't oh, sorry, don't worry about my dog. He's really, really harmless," because they watch and they know I'm scared of dogs. It's so sweet. It's so sweet.
Oh my God, this is a great one.
Wow.
I'm going to even name her Annie Lee. Hi, I just cut my hair. Do you agree?
What does it look like?
We need a photo, Annie. Send a photo through. You've got a 50-50 chance.
If you are feeling like a fresh queen, then yeah, I'm all about it. If you hate it, I'm sorry. Hey, 3 to 6 weeks to go back.
Okay, so some of these are so interesting. Okay, let's go with this one. This is a safe one. Positive affirmations you tell yourself to feel better when you're not feeling your best.
Nice. Oh, good one.
That's a good one.
This is gonna sound so cringe.
I love it.
But I oh my God, I don't even want to say it. This sounds cringe. But it's not an inflated sense of self-worth. It's not. I just like the idea of it. It just gives me that kick I need. But I tell myself that be a unicorn. That's so weird. And it's such a little thing. But I just tell myself, like, you are a unicorn, because they're kind of powerful, magical, transcendent things, and it's so hard to explain.
I get it. Unicorns are my thing. I'm not even joking. Right? All my friends would say unicorns are my sign. I look for them everywhere.
Oh my God.
Yeah. My friends will be laughing.
I'm like wigging out. This is so cool. Do you know what I mean when I say that? Yeah. Because you be superhuman, you be rare, you be magical, you stand out. You know,
I totally get it. Yep. 100%. I love that so much. I'm going to borrow that from you next time I need a little.
And I also actually, so that's my secret mantra to myself. And it's not just me. Like, I think I'm the only one that's a unicorn. I think all women have their own unicorn, just be you are a unicorn. So you all are so rare, are so magical. You have, But anyways, so that's my mantra to myself. But on my phone, I have this. Can you see that?
Create the life you want. Don't let anything stop you. No, I got it. Awesome. Yeah.
So that I've had this on my phone for a while now. And this is also another huge thing that I think. There's a lot of, oh gosh, I can go into another rant now, but but there's people that are kind of, that can be so, well, you can't do this, you can't do that, or why shouldn't I, or why should you? And I just think it's your life. You create it exactly how you want to. If you want to, because I get quite a lot of questions about, you're a doctor, how do you fit other stuff in? How do you fit travel in? How do you fit acting in? How do you fit the show in? And I just think, of course I can fit it in, because I want to fit it in, because I want to do all those things, and I want exactly this life that I want. Yes. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, do everything you want to do. Do everything you want to do. You can. Have you read that book? Oh my gosh, I've forgotten it now. It's my favorite book too, and it's just maybe this wine. Oh no, I'll come back to it. What is the book I'm thinking about? And it's the kid he's on that journey of self-discovery, and it's written by a Brazilian.
The Alchemist.
The Alchemist.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh,
yes, I read it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got you, babe.
Oh my God, enough wine for me, I'll tell you that. The Alchemist, of course. So, right, what a great message at the beginning, when he does his like prelogue thing. He talks about, we go through life and we think we never, some people, most people actually, never try and go for their goals because they have this feeling like, why do I deserve that above someone else? I can't go for that because I don't deserve to get that. Why would I get it? And so people kind of don't go after what they want.
Mm-hmm.
But I think why not go after it? You do deserve it. It's getting over that barrier of yourself. If you want it, you have to work hard. Yes, nothing's going to come easy, but work hard and then get it.
Yeah.
Oh,
this is music to my ears. Honestly, these are the conversations I have everywhere, because that's exactly it, right? It's these limits that we put on ourselves. Like, people are exactly the same with me, and they're like, oh, you're so busy all the time. I'm like, but it's all stuff that I love. Like, it's not busy. Yeah. It's fulfilling my dreams,
Yeah.
And then it's like, before we started recording, and I was telling you about how, like, at the basis of everything that I do, it's self-worth. And it's for that exact reason that people have to believe that they're deserving of these things in order to go after them. Yeah.
Yeah. Where does that come from, though? Do you know what I mean? Why do some people have that and why do some people not?
Yeah.
You obviously, and myself, we feel not that we deserve it, but we can achieve it if we try hard and we can get it. But why do some people feel like they can't? Where does that come from? Why do some people have it and why do some people not?
Well, I think one of the things is, though, that you cultivate it. So, earlier when I asked you about your practices, it's like, it doesn't just happen. Like, you don't just wake up one day and be like, yeah, you've got to work at it. You've got to, some days, but often you have to work at it. Like, you have to have these things, you have to have these mantras, you have to have these processes that you fall back on to build yourself up. You need to be learning, growing, reading The Alchemist, listening to podcasts, putting yourself out of your comfort zone. And every time you do it, like every time you reach out to Lesina on Instagram and she says yes to coming on your podcast, you're like, yes, like, this is what I can do if I be bold, but that's it. And then it's like, you get a little bit more confidence, and then it goes well, and you're like, wow, I could do this now. I could do this. What else could I do? But it's also, I think, pushing through the discomfort, because things
through the rejection.
Yep. And the resistance too. The resistance. Yeah. Because you're always going to be open to rejection. Like, we could put this out and people might hate it. It's like, well, we're making it for the people that benefit,
Yeah, that's so true. No, because why I ask is because there may be people who try it, are bold and try something a little different and get rejected, and it sets them back so far, and they go into this bubble and they're like, I'm never trying that again.
Yeah.
And then there are people who do it and set them back, and they've learned so much and they go for it again. And so it's how do you, if you get set back and you let it get you down, how do you, is that just a personality thing? Is that, do people support?
I think it is a personality thing to a point. Like I know people, I was talking to my friend about this the other day, certain people, you know, say to me things like, you know, when are you going back to university and when are you going to, you know, settle down and get a mortgage and stuff like that. And I said, that's not who I am. Like I'm never, this is who I am. Like, you know, but I think the other thing, have you heard of Wayne Dyer?
No.
He's one that you would love. He's actually dead now, but he is one of the best like spiritual teachers ever. And he said, you know, in life you've got to make one really important decision, and that is decide if you live in a friendly universe or an unfriendly one. And so I think that people like us have decided that it's friendly. So that's why we keep going, because we know that it's meant to work out, as opposed to feeling like we're victims and everything's against us. That's how I think about it anyway.
Gosh, I like that. I like that. Yeah, nice. And it is so much about you decide. You decide if you live, is yours shut? Oh yeah, it's froze for a second. You decide if you live in a friendly or an unfriendly universe.
Yeah.
No one else decides it for you. You have that choice.
Yeah.
You know, you have that choice. So if you feel like things aren't going well for you, but you can stop that kind of train of thinking and shift to a different train of thinking. That's the beauty of it. It's that it's up to you. And people might look at it as a negative, but it's actually a real positive that you get to decide how you want to live your life.
Yep. 100%.
You know?
And also you get to decide what like the meaning is. So if you come out of a situation, for example, the Bachelorette, you get to decide how you view it. Do you view it as a positive thing that you're grateful for and that you've learned all these lessons and that you've had a chance to actually practice self-worth? You know, because it's all very well to sit at home going, I'm a unicorn. But when you get into a situation where you're actually forced to apply it, it's like that's where you really practice it and that's where you really embody it, you know? Yeah.
That is so true, because I'm looking forward to, I mean, we've been in this Corona thing, but I learned so much from it. And I even think even my practice with my patients and with my colleagues now, I feel like a happier, more open person, because those are things that I had to learn from the show. And I feel better for it. But you're totally right in that from the show, for example, I asked, you know, people asked me questions way back when, a couple of weeks ago. And quite a few people were like, do you regret going on the show? And I do not at all. I mean, it's unfortunate how it was portrayed. It definitely didn't feel like that though. I was so empowered with my decision in the end, and I took away so much from it. And it might look however, it might look sad, it might look however people interpreted it. I don't regret it at all, because, and some people are like, oh, woe is me, you know, people aren't happy with me. But I mean, yeah, no, you can only take the positives. I think no experience is a bad experience, you know?
Totally. And that's because you live in a friendly universe. That's why.
And I chose to live in the friendly universe, right?
100%. And you choose it every day. That's the thing. And I think that's another one of the big differences is that, like some days are easier to feel positive than others, but at the end of the day, you still choose, you know?
Yeah,
it's,
that's the beauty of it. That's so nice. I like that.
Honestly, after these conversations now, I don't even want to ask you these questions. Like, what's your makeup routine? I'm like,
no, that's a friend of mine. I will answer that, but not tonight.
Okay. That can be a private message. I'm just thinking, what are the other cool questions that really jump out here? I mean, how have you found life after the show?
Just a lot more people will recognize you, and and I don't know, just a lot more people recognize you, I guess, and you can let it sit with you however much you like people judging you, but I choose not to do that. So I can imagine if I was a younger, more naive, more vulnerable me, and I was that person at some point, I would sit there and think, oh gosh, everyone's judging me and everyone hates me or whatever, everyone doesn't like my decision, and let that really affect me. But I choose not to do that. So
Yeah.
Because there's way more people that are just loving and supportive, and I'm happy with my decision, which is the most important thing, because no one else has to, we've said this again, but no one else has to be in the relationship. I have to be in the relationship. So if I'm happy with my decision not to choose anyone because it wasn't right, then I'm totally happy, which I am, which is good.
Yeah. And actually no one else even knows what went down, so they can't really comment anyway.
True. Very true.
This is a good one. If you were not working as a doctor, what would you be doing?
I love being a doctor. It's so hard because it's always, do you know what though? I'm such a big fan. I've said this in a speech once. I'm such a big fan of being a multifaceted, talented person.
Yeah.
Woman of 2020. And I think we all can be that. I think being a doctor is not my only thing. It's one part of me and it's something I really love, but it doesn't define me. And I think if I wasn't a doctor, I'd be doing something for other people, but it's not just I'm a doctor and that's it. And I can't be anything else. Yeah. I never think I can I can wear many different hats. And that goes down to the creating that this phrase I have on my phone, creating the life that you want. For me, it's doing everything I want, everything that makes me happy, and being this really kind of diverse person. And there's don't let people say that you can't, it's my thing. What do you think?
Yeah. What do I think? What do I think about what you should be if you're not a doctor?
Yeah. I'm coming back to that. I don't know. Sorry, I didn't even answer the question. I went on to this rant. What would I be if I wasn't a doctor? It would be definitely helping someone in some way. I really like traveling. I'd be a permanent volunteer. No, I don't know.
You'd definitely be doing something with people. That's for sure.
People, yeah. People give me energy. I like being on my own, but I more so like interacting with people. And I think, helping in some way, maybe a teacher of some kind, or my family are all teachers.
Yeah. Okay. Can I ask you one question about one of the guys?
Sure.
What do you think Mike taught you?
It's so funny because I haven't watched any of the shows, but I'm getting from the editing, a lot of people are like, oh, you should go find Mike. You and Mike are meant to be together. It's so interesting because, I mean, I didn't watch the show, but they clearly edited it in a way that makes it look like we know.
I don't think so.
What did it look like? I didn't watch it.
Well, I think that people like Mike because he's nice to look at. What I saw, and this is just my interpretation, was that it didn't quite click between you two. It felt quite awkward at times. Like it wasn't flowing. That's what I think. But I think people like Mike because he was quite sort of, I don't know, like forthcoming with stuff and pretty straight up. And also he was hot. I mean, dreamy Mike, right?
Okay, well, I mean, if I can set the record straight then, again, this is nothing bad about Mike. Mike, he's a really lovely guy, and they all were such nice guys. I've really got not a bad thing to say about anyone. Yeah. But there was a lot of pressure, obviously, to be with Mike. There was a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that people don't know, and he was kind of brought on, I guess, for me in a way. And it was set up. There's a lot of pressure from production to choose Mike. And on paper, me and Mike would look really good together, and it would go with the show, like Lesina and Mike end up together, rah, rah, rah. But I felt, and it's nothing that you can, I can't explain it in any other way, but I knew he wasn't the right person for me. There was a lot of qualities that I wasn't looking for in a partner that he had. Not bad, he's not a bad guy or whatever, but I just wasn't, it's just things that I really need in a partner that he didn't have. And I struggled a lot with, what it was. I didn't struggle to not, what am I trying to say? Okay, what I'm trying to say is he yeah, I'm getting confused now in my own words, but I'm trying to put it nicely because I don't want people to like think that I was mad about that situation. I wasn't at all. It was just, I struggled with letting people down, I guess, and I knew that people wanted me to be with him. They'd say all the time, like, you just need to da-da-da-da-da, but you just need to be more open with him. You just need to do that. And in a way, I kind of became, I kind of, what's the word when you lash out, or you become stubborn in your ways because you don't want to do something? I became a bit like resistant to him.
Yeah.
Because I knew that it wasn't right for me, but everyone else was like, just do it, just kind of do it, just take him on dates, and just, why aren't you da-da-da? And I was kind of like, well, I don't have to do that. I really don't feel that way about this guy. And so I kind of was just shutting down, not only to him, but to everyone really. And I wasn't, and you know, he was coming at me and production were coming at me, and I didn't know how to say it in a polite way because, you know, as doctors, we're kind of people pleasers in a way. I didn't know how to say, I don't feel like this is right. And I think he could read it in the end. And so he left on his own, which was good because I felt like I wasn't strong enough to do that. Mm. But looking back at it now, I definitely should have just said how I honestly felt, even if that was what no one wanted to hear. Because no one wanted to hear that. Everyone wanted it to be Mike, you know? Yeah. And I didn't know how to say that at the time. But yeah, I've learnt now.
Yeah.
Heaps.
Well, that's so cool, because even that, in that short amount of time between that situation and the end, you were like, we're talking about that embodying your self-worth. Between that situation and the end of the show, you like found your voice again. You know,
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so for that, I'm grateful. Do you know what I mean? I know everyone thought that we should end up together, and I just genuinely didn't. I don't know how they edited it. But I always felt just so, he's quite a confronting personality, and I don't deal with aggression very well. And so I kind of just shut down. But after that, I learned that I needed to just stand up for how I was really feeling, and not, even if that was, unfortunately, look, I don't feel that way about these people, that was okay. And so, and it's weird because I actually usually do stick up for myself really well, but I think in that situation, I didn't, and I was disappointed with myself that I didn't get to say what I wanted at the time. I was disappointed in myself that I didn't just stand up for myself at that point, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But then it didn't take you long to remedy it. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. After that, I was like, you know what? Crap, let me do what does not make me happy, listening to everyone else and feeling guilty. I felt so much guilt. I mean, during that time with the Michael and Mike situation, I felt just tremendous amount of guilt from behind the scenes. They'd just be like, why do you do this? Why don't you do that? It was just so much on me. It was heavy. But after that, I kind of let go of feeling guilty and just doing what was right for me. Do you know what it was though? It was, we got back to New Zealand. So after Mike left, we went back to New Zealand like a day after that. And my sister had arrived from New York because she had arrived for the hometown visits. And I got back home and I got to see my family again. And I felt so much better. I felt like I got my voice again.
Yeah.
That's what I needed. I was in Argentina for so long and they were just chipping away at me, and I felt I couldn't talk to anyone. I mean, I could talk to Lily heaps, but you know, she was on her own journey too, and I didn't want to rub anything that I was feeling off on her. When I got back home to New Zealand, I had my you know, my unit, and I had my backup again. And so then I felt strong enough to just really then say how I felt about things.
So good. Yeah. So good.
Yeah. So interesting though, hey?
Yeah. So what do you think the biggest lessons or the biggest takeaways were for you from the show?
I would say do your research a bit more if you're going to do anything like this. I definitely didn't. I did it on purpose because I was trying to come in as authentically as I could, but at the same time, it's a show, and so I had to realize that. But it was, no, in all honesty, and I'm even doing this kind of in my dating life now, and I haven't really been on a ton of dates, maybe one or two here and there. But I do ask a lot of questions. I do in general. And that's just in life. I had a lot of doctors and medical professionals reaching out after the show being like, I do that too. It's just because we're so used to talking about everyone else.
Yeah.
And I always actually used to feel weird talking about myself. It was that kind of that deserving thing. And I'm a pretty confident person, but when it came to that, I was kind of like, oh, why is what I'm saying important? It's not that important. What's important about you? Let me hear about you. And so a lot of my conversation would just be about other people.
Yeah.
But I've learned that people want to hear what I say as well. And so opening myself up and expressing how I am, and it's not, and being a bit more vulnerable with just like opening myself to people. I've learned that.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Now, we should probably start wrapping up because I think we've been talking for about an hour or more. That went so fast. I don't even know.
It was like blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And people feel like I'm not an open book, but
no, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, there's some gems in there for sure. So what I'll do is I will ask you one final question, if that's all right. And this is from me, not from anyone else, because I've got you on the line. So why not? Okay, so if you could go back and tell 15-year-old Lesina one thing, what would it be?
"15-year-old Lesina.
Be a unicorn.
Yeah, I would say I'm not going to tell you anything because you are going to make mistakes. You're going to mess up. You're going to go through such heartbreak where you cry every day, and then you're going to go through such highs. And it's all going to lead you to a really good place. So just keep doing you. Yeah.
Oh, so good. So good.
I might say go get your skin fixed quicker, because I had bad acne for a year and I should have got it done quicker. But apart from that, I'm happy with all the decisions I've made. I don't regret a single thing. And no.
Amazing.
You've done a good job.
Amazing. Yeah. Yes. Oh, that was such a rush. Oh my gosh, I feel on such a high now.
Now go down that wine, girl.
Yeah, it's not the wine. I haven't even finished it. It's you. I'm on a high now. But thank you so much for your time and for opening up. And I love this so much.
Good. Man, you must be an amazing coach for reals though, because those are like the things I'm saying, and you just you summarize them perfectly, and you've got little anecdotes, and you've got people that I should look up. So I can't imagine what you're finding. You might have to come to you every now and then.
Oh my God, yes! You heard it here first. I'm coaching Lesina.
Through life. No, really, it's so good. I actually feel like I need one of these chats every now and then. We'll be in touch.
Yeah. In the meantime, I'll send you a list of people to read up about.
Nice. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, good. I'm an uncle, so it's good.
Yes.
Okay.
But anyway, thank you so much again, and let's stay in touch.
Thanks, Mom. See you later.
Okay,
Bye.
see you later.
Is this it? We go?